Hey guys! For those of you who know a little about my background, I'm actually an organist as well as a pianist, and because of that, I've had many years of work in the church on organ and piano. If you're a musician thinking about how you're going to make a living in music, consider working in sacred music, full or part-time. Depending on where you live, there are really great gigs, and usually the people that you work with, the choirs, the staff, the congregation, are really great. Usually. Anyway, today's video is all about practicing and playing traditional hymns or four-part harmony, meaning that there's an independent bass, tenor, alto, and soprano line that you, just one player, plays. This is especially for pianists that are new to or struggling with playing four-part hymns because they're not easy, but it can also benefit pianists who simply want to improve their reading skills. If you can read four parts vertically, you can read a ton of other stuff, piece of cake. So first, helpful prerequisites. A little music theory knowledge goes a long way. I suggest understanding and being able to play chords, their inversions, cadences and progressions, voice leading if you feel extra inspired, and key signatures, at least up to 4 sharps and flats, maybe 5. Hymns are made up of so many common chords and progressions, so by first establishing a good foundation in these things, you'll save yourself time down the road, and it'll feel much more natural to your hands, especially when trying to figure out what fingers to use for each chord. Another helpful prerequisite is knowing how to use the damper pedal with legato, or otherwise known as syncopated pedaling. If you don't know what that is or how to do it, check out this video here. Without the pedal, hymns sound really dry and messy. Hymns typically change chords on almost every syllable, and legato pedaling is desperately needed to make them sound good. Be aware that every tune has a tune name. This tune name is eventide, and it can be used with different hymn text, just as the text for Abide With Me can be set to a different tune. Now, for the meat of the video, the big practice tip. This is the key of F major. Most hymns are in easier keys, like this one, and C, G, D, and B flat. However, some do have more flats than sharps, so to begin, pick a hymn that has an easy key signature for you. Okay, now for the big practice method. This has quite a few steps. Now, some steps can eventually be eliminated once you get a handle on playing these hymns, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can just easily sight read them. First, play the melody alone. It does not matter what fingers you use at this point, just plunk it out so you have an idea of how the tune goes. Then play the left hand alone. This is the time to work out your fingering for that hand, and remember you'll eventually be using the damper pedal with this, so don't kill yourself trying to make it legato without the pedal. For example, in measure 2, without the pedal, I'd be tempted to use fingers 1 and 3, going to fingers 2 and 5. However, since I know I've got pedal help coming, I'll probably use fingers 1 and 4, to 1 and 5, and just pick up my hand in between those chords and right in the fingerings. As a beginner to hymn playing, this is essential. Follow that with the right hand alone and, of course, right in the fingerings. Okay, now it gets fun. Practice just the bass and soprano lines. And even if it feels weird, use the fingering that you established. If playing through the entire hymn is too daunting, just start with one phrase at a time, which is usually 4 measures long. Then practice the bass and alto line. Then the tenor and soprano. Tenor and alto. Once you can do this, then practice with 3 voices at a time: bass, tenor, alto, tenor, alto, soprano, practice with all the different 3 voice combinations. After this, then finally practice with all 4 voices. If you are a true beginner to hymns, this will probably take several days to a week, maybe more, to truly master one hymn like this. But don't worry, because as your brain gets used to working with this vertical layout, you'll get much faster at learning hymns to the point where you can sight read them. There are many other little tips I can give you, but honestly, they are mostly covered in my sight reading series, so check that out if you haven't already. The most important thing at this point as a true beginner to hymn playing is training your brain to read in chords, which means vertical, not individual notes. One extra tip for you, look here where the left hand extends to an interval of a 13th. Fellow small-handed pianists know that this is impossible for some. If you encounter something like this, you have 3 options. The first is the worst. Leave out one of the notes. Option 2, a little better, roll the impossible interval. Option 3, which is the best option, is to take the tenor voice with the right hand. It helps to mark your score with a divider line to remind yourself that you're going to divide those notes differently. So that should keep you busy for a while. Let me know how this goes, and if you have any specific questions or comments, I'm not against doing another video related to this topic, so let me know down below. I also included the PDF of Abide With Me in case you'd like to practice that on your own. And also check out a free resource with tons of public domain, aka free hymns. The link is below.